guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my favorite pasta dish, Gnocchi di Funghi. First of all, here's all the ingredients you're going to need to make this dish, so feel free to pause the video here and go grab those. Also, if you're new here, welcome, I'm Arman, I like cooking cool food, so if that's something you're into, make sure to click the subscribe button down below, and let's get into the video. So here we have flour, potatoes, and an egg. So first up, I'm going to go ahead and add these potatoes. These I just peel them, slice them, and then boil them in hot water for about 15 minutes. If you have a potato masher, you can use that, but I'm just going to use a fork here and we're going to mash these up. You can add a little bit of water just to make it a little bit smoother. Okay, next up, I'm going to just create this little well here, and then I'm going to crack this egg right in the middle. Oh wow, there's 2 yolks in 1 egg. So first of all, just whisk that, and then you can mix that with the potatoes. Okay, so now the last ingredient of this dough is going to be the flour, and I'm just going to add a half of it right now. So this is a half cup I'm putting in. So I'm going to start with this spoon, and then afterwards I'm going to use my hands to knead the dough. So you can see after adding half a cup of flour, it's gotten a lot thicker and it's kind of like goopy. So I'm going to just add the rest of it slowly, and then soon enough it'll form like a dough ball. And I'm just waiting for it to get a slight bit thicker, and then I'm going to knead the dough with my hands. I'm going to add some more flour and then just mix it really well. Once every batch of flour gets mixed in, add the next one and then keep going. Okay, so depending on your situation, you might need some more flour, so I got another cup here. I'm just going to keep adding that. Basically, if you feel any moisture in the dough, then you just need to keep adding flour. So what I've been doing is I'm just pressing my fingers into the dough and then folding it over and turning it, and then just keep repeating that.
20 minutes later.
So it's been about 25 minutes that I've been kneading this, and you can see it's like formed a pretty solid ball. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this into pieces. First I'm just going to flour this a little bit. For these gnocchi shapes, we're going to need to roll it out, so I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. And then go ahead and roll out each piece. So you can keep rolling this until the diameter of the roll matches the diameter of the pasta shape that you want. So I'm going to stop here, that's probably like 2 centimeters. Then I'm going to cut it into 1-inch pieces. And then go ahead and repeat that for the remaining 3 pieces. So I'm just making sure that they're all coated in flour now. Okay, so now I've got a fork, and I'm just going to roll the pasta over the fork, and then each piece will have the grooves in it. Sometimes if the piece is a little bit big, you might have to roll it over the fork twice, but just try and stay as even as possible. Also, I forgot to mention earlier that this does smell like raw pasta, so hopefully it'll work. So now I've rolled out all the pieces, and now we just have to boil it, and then we'll put it in the sauce, and we'll be all done. Okay, so this water is boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and add the pasta. You can also put a little bit of salt in the water just to season it. So probably about like every 30 seconds or so, you should just stir it so that none of them stick to the bottom. But the good thing about these gnocchi is that when they're cooked, they'll start floating to the top, so you don't really have to time it or anything, just wait till they float. As soon as this is done, I'm going to go ahead and get the mushrooms ready, the spinach, and then also the milk and cheese for the sauce. So you can see that they've all come floating to the top, so I'm going to turn off the heat and then drain these. And then you can also put a little bit of cold water on them to stop them from cooking. So I set the pasta to the side for now, so I'm going to cut 7 little mushrooms. So here we have all the ingredients that are going to go into the final dish. This is the gnocchi that we made earlier, the mushrooms we just cut, some spinach, about a tablespoon of flour, some cheese and a grater, and also some milk. So first up, I have a big pan here. Make sure you put that on high heat, and then add a little bit of oil. Once that's heated up, go ahead and add all the mushrooms. And once the mushrooms are really soft, go ahead and add all the spinach. Go ahead and put on a low heat. So the spinach is going to wrinkle a lot and become really small, and when you see that, add all of the gnocchi. And also a touch of oil. Next up, to get the sauce going, I'm going to add about a cup of milk. So make sure it's on a medium heat so that it starts simmering. This is just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of sage, and then before it gets too hot, grate cheese on it. You don't have to go overboard with this, a little bit goes a long way. I'm using Gruyere cheese, but you can use whatever you want. And make sure that's really well mixed. If you put the pan on too high of a heat, then you'll just get like blobs of cheese, so make sure that it's low to medium. Also, one important thing to remember, when you boil milk, it does expand a lot, so make sure that doesn't overflow and go all over the place. If you keep it on a low enough heat, that probably won't happen. It's been simmering like this for about 10 minutes, but you can see it's still pretty liquidy. So what I'm going to do is add this flour little by little. Okay, great. So the milk went from being very liquidy and thin to thickening, and now it's coating every piece. So it's done, so I'm going to put it on off. So you can choose any serving dish you want and then go ahead and scoop it in. Also, in the next step, I'm going to be baking it, so if you are going to be doing that, make sure it's a baking safe dish. Also, make sure you gather as much of the sauce that you can, because it seems really simple, but it actually tastes really good. Okay, so you could stop here, or you could do what I'm going to do and put some cheese on top and then broil it in the oven. So just go ahead and grate a little bit of the cheese around the top. This is going to help create a nice crispy layer on the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the oven on broil and then pop this in. When it's broiling in the oven, make sure that you watch it, because otherwise this might epically backfire and it'll just get burnt all the way on top. Okay. So I just checked and it's nice and golden on top. So I'm going to turn this off. Also, make sure you use gloves, it'll be super hot. And there we go, it's all done. You can see the crispy layer on top. We just got by broiling it, so this is going to be really good. And there you go, it's gnocchi with mushrooms, spinach, and cheese sauce. So that's been it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comments what your favorite pasta is, and I'll see you next time.